See, with Easter right around the corner, if you happen to be a history buff, this is like a textbook for your home that gives you information that just reading the Bible by itself may not help you. And if the Bible is the greatest story ever told, this is the story of the people that made the Bible what it is. Over 500 characters of the Bible in deeper dives, giving you a history lesson of each one. It's a gorgeous book. Did you get a chance to look through this?
It is absolutely gorgeous. And, you know, it makes sense when we talk about Reader's Digest.
Right.
Reader's Digest actually is presenting this to us as their 25th anniversary QVC edition book, which is exclusive. The dust jacket on it is completely exclusive and celebratory of 25 years. It has that nameplate so you can personalize it. It just touches my heart because when my dad passed and we were going through some of his things in the house that I grew up, we found the Bible that he received. I grew up as a Presbyterian and my family's been Presbyterian for years. The Bible that we all receive, I think we got it in kindergarten, and it had the nameplate filled out with his Sunday school teacher.
Nice.
It was so very special. So this is the collectability of this. And at less than $20, we can do bill to, ship to. So if you want to go ahead and ship this to someone who you may not be seeing during the Easter holidays or during early spring, now's the perfect time to do it. Reader's Digest for years, that was the one magazine. Growing up, we didn't have a lot of magazines, but the one magazine was we always got Reader's Digest, and it was always in the bathroom. Someone was reading it.
Did you always turn to the jokes first and read those?
But they make everything.
Life in the Military, I remember that one. Yeah.
They make everything really easy to understand. This is a very cool thing to have.
Well, the Bible is made up of these phenomenally interesting human beings. Yeah. And when you find out more about the individual, about their background story, of who they really were, where they might have been from, it makes those stories much more real. I picked one in particular, and it's so obscure, but I remember this.
Oh yeah, please do share.
Do you remember there was a cartoon, there was a character named Yosemite Sam?
Right.
Now that's cartoons, I know we're talking about the Bible. Mm-hmm. But you know how he would say, jumpin' Jehoshaphat. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay, Jehoshaphat is a biblical reference.
Really?
Jehoshaphat, for more than 2 decades, reigned as the king of Judah. It was interesting to find that. I'll show it to you. It's on page 191.
That's so cool.
So I know that was an obscure reference for anybody who's never seen that cartoon, but to be able to read in depth of what these individuals did, when they lived, the story of their lives, and written beautifully.
Yes.
Listen, I'm not a big fan of reading textbooks, but I love reading
I know you love
books
history.
in general.
Yeah.
And this is written...
The greatest book of all.
Yes, and it's written so incredibly well. It's all alphabetized. There's over 400 color illustrations. There's 10 different maps in there that really break down huge, historically important religious factors of how the world has changed. And it's a book that if you take the time to read from cover to cover, you'll be a true theologian.
You know, I remember years ago, although my dad would say he refused to buy us the encyclopedias and told us we had to learn to go to the library.
Okay.
I realized that when he was raising 3 of us and he was the one working, so we learned to go to the library. But today we love to have reference books. And that's exactly what this could become, a beautiful coffee table book, as they say. There's over 50 commissioned paintings in here. And I think many times, I looked up Mary, just interesting things about her life that maybe will help her make sense to us.
And do you notice there were several Marys that they list?
Yes.
So whenever you're reading any scripture and you come across a particular name, this becomes your cross-referencing to be able to say, okay, I want to know more about that human being. These are stories told about real people. People that history knows changed our lives. Moab, after Lot was spared from the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah, Moab is one of the people who took the living relatives in, and it tells that little story. You can go page to page, or you can reference it as you read.
Exactly.
But I'll tell you what, it's a beautifully done book.
Dan, over 500 have already been ordered. The price on it, this is our $20 bill alert that we always like to share with you on a Sunday morning. And it gets even better because if you want to use any major credit card, your PayPal, take advantage of the 6 Easy Pays because you will be enjoying it, sharing it with family and friends. We can do bill to, ship to if you'd like us to do that. And you can use your QVC credit card just as easily. If you don't have that Q card, now's a really great time to do it because it takes just a couple of minutes, you get approved, and then you'll have a $50. I don't ever remember us saying a $50 account credit because we realize that we need to work with your budgets these days, and we're doing our best. This is not just any old version of this. This is the 25th anniversary celebration version. That's why you have this absolutely beautiful special cover that you see by Reader's Digest. And I can turn it around. It'll give you kind of a summary of what's going on the inside. And as Dan showed you right there, I mean, this would be a beautiful, very appropriate gift for many, many reasons.
I agree. It'll be in your family potentially for generations. Did you know Noah had a son by the name of Ham?
He did?
H-A-M, Ham?
Yeah.
Was his youngest son. And you get to read these things, and you'll find surprises throughout this book, and it's beautifully bound. I love the feeling of a book.
I do too. I have to admit I do too. I do Audible books, but I would much rather read it myself. Now I realize you can't do that when you're in the car, but there is something nice about having a reference book that will never go out of style, that you know from years of experience with Reader's Digest it'll be something that you definitely can enjoy. I want you to know in the index in the back, there's actually 2 different indexes. One will reference the 504 people biographies, if you will, in here, and the other will have the 4,000 names in the Bible in here, so you will get an idea about what's going on. I see our quantity counter, close to 800 of you now have already dialed in. And again, don't be afraid to ask us if you would like to send this somewhere, maybe that you will not be able to be for the Easter holiday.
So often, the Bible can be a book that is somewhat difficult to connect with.
I agree.
On a truly personal level. Because you feel like you're reading stories of people who lived thousands of years ago. But when you get just a little bit more information about those people, it does bring them back to life. And it brings about a message that I personally feel is important, and so many of us do. I'd be proud to own this book.
Yeah, I agree, or to gift it. Over 1,000 of you will be doing exactly that. I mean, in these trying times, this will become a nice reference. So if you're sharing it with your family and even for yourself, $19.98. Let us offer you the Easy Pay option, E233105.
More and more of us are going to be spending more and more time at home.